Kia ora, welcome back. So in this video I'll do a bit of a voiceover throughout. So here's just on the beginning stages of the warm-up. So I did 10 minutes just walking at speed 5 I think it was on. The incline was on 0, it stayed on 0 the whole time. Then I switched at the 10-minute mark and just put the speed up to 8.5, just a very light shuffle along, jog along, and kept the incline as I mentioned at 0 for 20 minutes total. Then walked for a couple of minutes, then went outside and then got into some movement. With regards to the training after and the movement, just picking stuff up and putting it down, there was no scheduled plan. I didn't bother about changing out the shoes for the more flatter ones. I should have though, but I just left the running shoes on that I had on during the walk and the light jog as part of the warm-up. So yeah, that's a 16 kilo kettlebell. I moved through some kettlebell swings, I think some sit-ups at some stage, some bar dips, some, yeah, just a bunch of different bits and pieces, some snatches, etc. So use of a plate, some presses, and the purpose of the session was just to look to try to move for as consistently as I could, apart from having to shift and move stuff around, for about 30 minutes. So pretty sure I did that. I didn't have a timer or anything going. I just seemed to have a reasonably good sense of time with regards to how much time has passed when I'm training in regards to movements, etc., and repetitions. So I think I stopped and went over to the camera. It might have been a little over 30 minutes, so close enough. The barbell that you can see on the ground, I haven't changed that since pulling 150, so that's still 150 kilos on the barbell, and I just look to grab, I think I grab a 15 kilo plate off it for at least one movement. Here's just some kettlebell around the worlds, 15 one way, 15 the other way. Don't ask me why I chose 15 as in terms of the reps for a vast majority of the movements today. That's just the way it worked out. So chipping away, moving through, like I said, no set plan. Aim was just to move. People have asked about the training and that they enjoy hearing my thoughts, my wrap up at the end of the training, so I thought maybe I'll use the voiceover and give some of those thoughts during. So as I think I've mentioned in a bunch of other videos, me and movement and training, my relationship with it, for want of a better term, is more about my own personal longevity and the ability to move. You know, I've made no secret, hopefully one day our children will give my wife and I some grandchildren, some mokos, and I'd like to be able to still move around with them and play with them and chase them and, you know, be chased by them as they're trying to, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So I train and move for me, for my own health and well-being, but also the flow on and knock-on effect of that for me is the ability to better look after my family, better look after people that I care about. So yeah, that's a large part of why I do it. You don't necessarily always have to have a plan, especially when you're, I suppose, not training for anything in particular like me, other than just life itself and everyday sort of movement. Those of you that are training for more specific things like a Special Forces selection or some sort of event that may be coming up or competition, then clearly you're going to have your own agendas and different plans to help you peak at the right time for those types of events. For me, there is no peaking event. It's just about turning up every day and putting in the work and repeating that process. During this period of time, and what I've been doing has just been, I suppose I use the term loosely, trying to provide somewhat of an example of a process that, at least in my experience, has helped me to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve, which was get through selection here in NZ. Unfortunately didn't get badged in NZ, but that same process, I applied it because that's all I wanted to do and I wanted to serve in the unit. I applied it and it worked for me in terms of going to Australia. So the process works. I know for me it works anyway, and here all I'm doing is just on the back end of conversations with people that have expressed that it would be really helpful if they could see the process or an example of a process. So that's all this is. This isn't a selection specific process in terms of what I'm doing. This is just me rocking up, making sure that I turn up every day in the morning and then again at some point in the afternoon or evening to get that second training session in. Regardless of whether you're working full-time, you just have to make time. I know what that process is like. I know what it's like to work full-time and to have to get up and get after it and train and do that extra work so that you can be as prepared as you can for whatever that event or that competition or that task might be. So the sit-ups definitely came in handy. They were a good opportunity to try to catch my breath. I think I do some rounded back lifting. There's some bodyweight squats, there's some burpees and stuff, and maybe there's a few other bits and pieces in there, but that's pretty much the intent of this afternoon's training, was to try to move as consistently and as constantly as I could for at least 30 minutes. Pretty sure I managed to reach that mark, and then I give a little bit of a wrap up at the end anyway. In closing, before I do that, before you hear the wrap up at the end, if you get that far, just want to thank everybody again for their time, their support, for any of the comments and feedback that you provide. Just very, very grateful to the brother over in Australia that sent me through these awesome gifts, and they are not cheap. The Insta360 X4 camera, the wireless micro Rode microphone, and the premium lens guards covers for the Insta360 X4 camera. Man, it's easily over $1,000 worth of gear that this guy just purchased and sent to me. On top of that, he paid the $50 odd shipping costs to get them over here. I managed to catch up with him today in a video call. I sent him a text, I called him, he wasn't able to pick up the call at that time, so I left a voice message, and then he got back to me, and then we connected via video, and just, it was awesome to see him. Grateful to him for what he's done, and then he just went on to share some other really awesome bits and pieces of information with me as to why he did it and how he hopes to add value, which he does, adding value and quality to what it is that I'm trying to do, and for that I'll be forever grateful. So thank you very much, brother, really appreciate you. As always, anybody going through any difficulties, challenges, hard times, keep turning up, know that you're not alone, know that better days are ahead, the sun will shine again, there is a light at the end of that long, dark, lonely and miserable tunnel. So stay in the fight. Remember, as always, go always a little further. Who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, YouTube post or milestone, there's a big mana wave coming from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation and gratitude for you all. All right, 25-30 minutes, 20 minutes total on the treadmill, just 10-minute walk flat, speed at 5, and then 10 minutes still flat on the incline, and then just put the speed up to 8.5, just a very nice light shuffle, probably not quite a jog, but good to get through that. So yeah, today's training, no set structure, no rigid routine. It's pretty fluid for me, and I've mentioned the reasons why. Definitely appreciate you all. Shout out again to the brother over in Australia. This isn't being filmed on the new Insta360 X4 camera that's charging, and I've got to get a SIM card for it, so I'm going to go tomorrow. I was keen as to go get a SIM card today, but I was like, nope, I need to get my training in, and so I chose to get my training in. Shops will be open tomorrow. I'm up early enough anyway, so I can go to the shop tomorrow after training, after I've got some work done, get a SIM, not a SIM card, an SD card for the camera, and a selfie stick thing to go on it. Hopefully I can nail those tomorrow, get those, and then hopefully, all going well, tomorrow, some stage, I can start trying to film with that camera. So yeah, as always, appreciate you all. Thank you all very much. Thank you for those that have given stuff to me, to this channel, your time, your support, whether it's a subscription, whether it's just a thumbs up, whether it's just a comment or feedback. Thank you all very much. Anybody going through any difficulties, hard times, challenges, heartache, heartbreak, the message is the same. The message is the same. Keep turning up, keep staying in the fight, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and stay as consistent and as disciplined as you can. Know that you're not alone. You are not the only one struggling. Everybody is struggling in some way, shape or form. So keep turning up. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to people that really care about you and that need you around, that need your presence, your guidance, your advice, your physical presence, even your hugs, your frowns sometimes as well, and your tellings off. But they need you and they want you around. So keep turning up and stick at it. The sun will shine again. There is a light at the end of that tunnel, and better days are closer than you think. So as always, go always a little further. Remember, who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, YouTube post or milestone, a big mana wave coming from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation and gratitude for you all.